Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where today I am reviewing the 4th Doctor Tom Baker story, Robot. Yes, this is the start of a very big era of Doctor Who because of course this is Tom Baker's first episode, and as you know Tom Baker was the Doctor for the longest time, 7 years, 1974 to 1981. Now, this episode aired on the 28th of December 1974, so this is the very first episode of Tom Baker's era, and it's regarded as being pretty good. And this is the first time I have seen this episode, so this is completely new viewings for me. So I was very excited to watch it because I'd heard very good things about it. I'd had some advice from D.W. Sebling saying that it was one of the best Tom Baker episodes, so I was very much looking forward to seeing what I thought of it. And today I'm going to be giving all of my thoughts on the episode. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, just before I get started, I do want to say that England is now going into another lockdown. So this means that some of my after school clubs are now cancelled. So that gives me more time to do videos, which is very, very good. It's a bit of a shame that my after school clubs are cancelled. School is still going on. But yeah, that does give me more time to make videos. So yeah, I'll try and get 2 videos a week. I might not be able to every week, but I will do my best. So remember to subscribe, like, comment, etc. So let's get into it. Talking about the main cast: Tom Baker, Elizabeth Sladen, Ian Marter, and Nicholas Courtney. Yeah, it's a very big main cast for this episode because we have the Brigadier as well. So Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor, absolutely incredible. With his first episode, smashes it out the park immediately. He is absolutely brilliant. Of course, this is his first episode because it's a post-regeneration episode, and of course he's going to be a little bit silly. It happens with every Doctor, you know, they've got this weird regeneration thing going on. It happens with all the Doctors. Tom Baker it's one of the best times it's happened in my opinion. He's karate chopping the brick. He's hyper. It's just so entertaining, and he's brilliant all the way through as well. Not just in the first part. He's so entertaining. And I'm deciding whether he's better than Jon Pertwee. Jon Pertwee just has the lead. No. Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith. Once again, brilliant. I didn't really care for her much in Genesis of the Daleks, just because she didn't get a whole lot to do there. In this episode, she does loads. She's separated from the Doctor for quite a bit of the episode, particularly in the first 1 or 2 parts. And she's investigating. She's doing the journalism, which is what I absolutely love to see with Sarah Jane Smith, and it's what makes her so iconic. Yeah, she's brilliant in this episode. Now, Ian Marter as Harry Sullivan is a shame because I think he's a really interesting character, but he doesn't do anything in this episode. He's pretty much absent for the 2nd and 3rd parts. Does a fair bit in parts 1 and 4, but that's about it. Yeah, because obviously they didn't know how old the 4th Doctor was going to be, the actor, I mean. They thought he was going to be an older actor, so they got this younger man to do all the running around. But of course, Tom Baker, I think he was about 40 when he took on the role, so that's still pretty young. So he could do all the running around and silly stuff. So Harry Sullivan just got pushed to the background, and it's a shame because I really do like his character. And then of course you've got Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. Iconic. He is a big part of Doctor Who, 1970s especially, and they couldn't have had Doctor Who without Nicholas Courtney, in my opinion. He is just fan-dabby-dozer. And, you know, side characters, pretty good as well. Classic Who never really does side characters that well. In this episode, they're decent. Benton's pretty good. He's not as good as the Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, though. The Brigadier just is incredible. This is the first time I've seen Benton, and he's pretty good. He doesn't get a whole lot to do. Professor Kettlewell is obviously imitating a mad scientist, which works pretty well. That's pretty cool. And the director is a pretty annoying villain, in a good way, though. So overall, I think the story goes along at a pretty nice pace because obviously this is Classic Who. The pacing is obviously going to be one of the main issues with it, but for this episode I think it works pretty well because it's a nice 4-parter. It's very easy watching. I didn't watch it all in one go. I'd never watched Classic Who all in one go. I broke it up into parts. I watched about a part each day. I watched 2 parts in one day, but it took me 3 days to watch this episode, and it is very nice viewing actually. 20 minutes for each part, 90 minutes, about 90, 100 minutes long. Yeah, it's very nice viewing, and the pacing is actually really, really good. The robot itself is a pretty nice design. It's pretty generic, you know, it's just your silver robot, but Yeah, it is a very good design. Obviously, now in New Who, I always criticise New Who for doing robots too much as the main villain. I criticise Robot Sherwood for doing it when I reviewed that, um, because it just does it so much. Now I actually do prefer Robot Sherwood now to what I did then. But yeah, the robots just do annoy me in New Who. In Classic Who, it's alright in early Classic Who, because this is pretty early on in Classic Who. We're about halfway through at this point. And they hadn't done robots that much in Classic Who. They did it a fair bit in William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton era, I think. But yeah, it's fine. Robot. Yeah, the robot. It's fine. It's a robot. It does get bigger in part 4 because it is about 7 foot tall, as Sarah Jane says in the first 3 parts. And then it just gets way bigger. I will talk about that. So the special effects are alright in this episode. It's Classic Who, it's 1970s. So they start off pretty well in parts 1 and 4 because this is an Earth story, so they don't need to use that much special effects because it's not a big alien planet where they have to use loads. It's not even an alien invasion really because the robot is human made, so it's not really an alien invasion at all. So yeah, the special effects do go down in part 4 when you've got that tank going across the floor. It's a toy tank and it's not convincing at all. That was hilarious. And Sarah Jane on the roof and the big robot in part 4, they were hilarious, I won't lie. The cliffhangers are also pretty good, especially the part 4 one. I loved seeing Tom Baker just take off his hat and put it on the eye of the robot. I thought that was pretty amusing. Because I'm always annoyed when the Doctor just doesn't do that with the Dalek. Just put something over its eye, just do it, and then it won't be able to see. I'm really annoyed when he doesn't do that. But yeah, cliffhangers all around were pretty good in this episode. Of course they were. It's Classic Who, they're always good. 8 out of 10 is what I'm giving this episode, I think. It's not perfect. I rarely give episodes a 10 out of 10, really. It has to be something like Heaven Sent or Blink for me to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm putting it in 4th place. Now, let's just see where that affects my whole ranking. In 8th, we have Frontier in Space. In 7th, we have The Two Doctors. In 6th, we have Doctor Who and the Silurians. In 5th, we have Remembrance of the Daleks, I know, controversial. 4th, Robot. 3rd, Genesis of the Daleks. 2nd, Spearhead from Space. 1st, The Five Doctors. Post-regeneration stories in Classic Who are really impressing me so far. We've had Robot and Spearhead from Space, both of which I think are phenomenal episodes, actually. I'm not really looking forward to seeing Twin Dilemma, Castrovalva, and Time in the Rani, as I've heard pretty bad things about them. However, we'll see how it goes. So, next week, or maybe even this week, might be the second video, yeah. So we are reviewing Earthshock because this is another new DVD that I have purchased recently. This actually arrived before Robot did, but I thought I'll watch it in order, may as well. So yes, that is this video for today, guys. If you enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, comment what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. And again, I'd love to see your thoughts on this episode, so really do put those down, everyone. So yeah, bye for now.